Picture this. You're racing against a deadline, fingers flying across the keyboard, when suddenly you hit a wall. Maybe you can't solve a problem, or you realize you've been working on the wrong thing for hours. Your stomach drops, and then, like clockwork, the inner critic kicks in. Why can't I get this right? I'm so useless at this. Sound familiar? Here's the twist. What if that voice, the one you think is keeping you sharp, is actually sabotaging your productivity? We've been sold this idea that self-criticism is the price of success, that if we aren't hard on ourselves, we'll become lazy or complacent. But research tells a different story. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion, treating themselves with the same kindness they do, offer a struggling friend, are more resilient, more motivated, and yes, even more productive. It turns out that beating yourself up doesn't make you work harder. It just makes you burn out faster. Let's talk about why. When you berate yourself for mistakes, your brain interprets that criticism as a threat. It triggers your fight-or-flight response, flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol. And what happens when you're stressed? Your focus narrows. Creativity shuts down. You might even freeze up entirely, stuck in a loop of self-doubt. On the other hand, self-compassion acts like a reset button for your nervous system. Instead of, "I'm a failure," you think, "This is tough, but I can figure it out." That shift doesn't just feel better, it literally changes how your brain functions. Calmer minds solve problems faster. Ever notice how some people seem to bounce back from setbacks almost effortlessly? That's not luck, it's self-compassion in action. Imagine two students who bomb a test. The first one spirals. "I'm terrible at this subject, why even try?" The second thinks, "That didn't go well, but I know what to study now." Who's more likely to ace the next exam? The answer's obvious. Self-compassion doesn't mean ignoring flaws. It means seeing them clearly without letting them define you. That's how progress happens. Here's another myth busted. Self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about staying on the hook, just without the unnecessary suffering. Think of an athlete training for a marathon. The disciplined runner isn't the one who punishes themselves for missing a day. It's the one who says, "My body needed rest. Tomorrow, I'll go farther." That mindset doesn't breed laziness. It builds endurance. Studies back this up. People who score high in self-compassion set more ambitious goals, not fewer, because they're not paralyzed by fear of failure. And then there's burnout, the silent productivity killer. We've all been there, pushing through exhaustion, fueled by guilt, until even simple tasks feel impossible. Self-compassion is the antidote. When you give yourself permission to rest before you're desperate, you don't just recover faster, you prevent the crash altogether. It is like the difference between waiting until your phone dies at 1% and charging it at 30%. One approach leaves you powerless. The other keeps you in control. Creativity thrives under the same conditions. Ever had a brilliant idea in the shower or on a walk? That's no accident. When your brain isn't clenched in self-judgment, it's free to make unexpected connections. Harsh self-criticism is like editing while you write. It stifles the flow. But self-compassion creates mental space to experiment, to play, to think. That's why the most innovative people aren't the ones terrified of mistakes. They're the ones who see missteps as part of the process. So how do you make the shift? Start small. Next time you mess up, pause. Ask, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" Then say that to yourself, out loud if you have to. Replace, "I'm such an idiot," with, "Okay, that didn't work. What's plan B?" It'll feel awkward at first, like wearing a new pair of shoes, but over time, it rewires your brain. Another trick? Normalize struggle. Instead of, "Why is this so hard?" try, "This is hard because it matters." Framing challenges as part of the journey, not proof of inadequacy, keeps you moving forward. The irony is this. We think self-criticism is the whip that keeps us running, but it's really the anchor dragging us down. Productivity isn't about suffering. It's about sustainability. The people who go the distance aren't the ones grinding themselves into the ground. They were the ones who know how to fuel themselves with kindness. So, the next time that inner critic pipes up, remember, you wouldn't sabotage a teammate. Why sabotage yourself? The real secret to getting more done might just be treating yourself like someone you were rooting for.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.